lost with everything else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
that's hard.
Yeah, there are going to be some essentials that are going to challenge you more than others. All of them should challenge all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just allows us, it brings a different element into our practice where we can then become more mindful of what it is that we're doing with our body and our mind and our energy. And then that then allows us to show our spirit. Uh, so like if you're having kind of kind of tired or whatever, how you just kind of walk around like this versus when you're feeling really good about yourself and you're having a great day and you've got a lot of energy, you're kind of like this, right? So, so that's kind of a difference between uh, incorporating as an essential and not so much. But it's all a learning experience. It's all the part of the journey of learning. So be gentle with yourself as you are trying to apply these essentials to your practice. Know that part of the Tai Chi journey, remember, is this heartbeat. There's ups and downs. So there's a lot of in betweens, the peaks and the valleys. There's these middle parts, right? And those parts are the challenge. Once you can get there, then we try to replicate it, and we know, oh gosh, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. Here it is. So we live
Okay.
for those moments when we can hit those peaks and we say, yes, I made it, I made it. Now, if I can just do it again, and then we just keep practicing until we feel it again, right? So don't be too hard on yourself. Just know that those peaks and valleys are part of the journey. And it's okay to say, all right, well, practicing continuously without interruption. This one's causing me a little bit of distress right now, so I'm just going to focus on using intent rather than force. I'm just going to focus. I'm just going to focus on the first essential. Okay, so it's okay. Just know that it'll be there. It will truly be there for you. And just like Tai Chi will always be there for you when
Mm-hmm.
you need it. There have been times in my life where I have actually needed to do Tai Chi to help center me, to help calm me down. When my father was in ICU and things like that. I just really was able to have this tool that I had learned over the years to be there for me when I really, really needed it the most. So it's there, and Tai Chi is in you. Okay, once you start doing Tai Chi, Tai Chi is in you. Good luck getting it out of you. Okay, so anyway, anyone else want to share? How's the journey been so far with these
Nancy,
essentials?
I want to build on what you said because Tai Chi's a part of you and it's helped me through so much. And I've literally had my closest family members and husbands turn to me and say, "Go do Tai Chi," because it changes you.
It does. It really does. It recenters us. It's kind of like, remember when we were kids and we were told, go to your room. Well, Tai Chi's now our room that we go to. It's a safe place. It's a place where we can just regather ourselves and recenter ourselves and get back in touch with ourselves when, everybody else is seeming to experience something on the contrary, right? Yeah, yeah. Hey, remember your Tai Chi? You may want to go outside and do a little bit of it right now. Just saying.
Literally,
Yeah,
like
just saying.
just go do
Yeah,
Tai Chi. It'll make you feel better. And
yeah,
it always does.
absolutely. Yeah. So it's always there for all of us, right?
Mhm.
And it will help us in our own unique ways. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, Allison here. I've been focusing on a couple of them, but one in particular, the first one, keeping my head up, and I have curvature of the spine, double curve, and so it's just been really delightful for me to feel this elongation.
Mm.
I just feel taller, and so I've been trying to do it in other parts of my life too. So for instance, when I'm working out on the elliptical, I'm lifting up my head, and I notice as soon as I do that, I suddenly am going faster and I have more energy. So I just thought I'd say, pass that on. It's just it's magic.
That's cool.
Oh, that's so wonderful, Allison. That's really good. And just that one simple thing, right? Which is not really that simple, but it is. It's simple, yet, it can be challenging to incorporate, right?
Profound.
Yeah. Yes. So stand and stand tall in your power and your strength. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. All right. So let's look at the 10th essential. Seek quiescence within movement. What do you think that means to you? Without reading the essential, what do you think seek quiescence within movement means to you?
I, just off the top of my head, it sounds a little bit like when you have finished with one, you know what the next one is coming. Is that Does that have anything to do with that?
Okay. Well, we're going to investigate that together, Marion. All right. Anybody else? Seek quiescence within movement.
To me, it
Find
kind of,
the, oh, go ahead.
to me, it kind of maybe means acceptance, and working with it and just the flow kind of.
Or perhaps knowing that each part of the movement has its time and place and
Okay.
be dealt with at that time, before the next.
Sounds to me like find the quiet within myself.
Okay.
You say sequiescence or acquiescence?
Quiescence.
Oh, quiescence. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand you.
I have to brush up on my English. Yes, Dee Dee.
I'm just more and more thinking it's dancing in the change.
Mm. Oh boy, that's a good one, Miss Dee Dee. Okay.
What
All
was
right.
it, Dee Dee? What did you say? What did you say again?
I
Me?
said dancing in the change.
Okay.
With the change.
Okay.
Maybe is better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else?
I'm always thinking stillness within motion.
Okay. Look, everybody's writing feverishly. It's like they like what Dee Dee just says. Okay.
I think giving in to the movement and
Oh,
just being there with the movement.
okay. Wow, that's a powerful statement. Giving in to the movement. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyone else? All right, let's read the essential. External martial artists prize leaping and stomping, and they do this until breath or chi and strength are exhausted, so that after practicing, they are all out of breath. They're tired, right? In Tai Chi Chuan, we use quiescence to overcome movement. And even in movement, still have quiescence. So when you practice the form, the slower, the better. I have something to say about that in a bit. When you do it slowly, your breath becomes deep and long. The qi sinks to the dantian, and naturally there is no harmful constriction or enlargement of the blood vessels. If the student tries carefully, they may be able to comprehend the meaning behind these words. Don't you love it when you read a story and you get to getting into the juice of the story and they say, well, just go think about these things and, see what you get out of it. And you're thinking, well, okay, I bought the book because I wanted information.
What a
Just tell me. Just tell me. All right. So, the slower the better. All right, let's talk about slower the better. There was a student of ours, Michael and myself, that we transferred over to Master Yang. And Master Yang told him, you need to go slower. You're going too fast. So one day he calls me up, because he just lives like less than a mile from me. He calls me up and he says, hey, meet me at the school. I want to do the form with you, because I've been doing it at this slower pace. And I said, okay, I'll be there. So we met and he says, okay, just follow my pace. And I said, all right. So we did. I'm following his pace and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is he doing? Because it was like this. And I was thinking, okay, I haven't even got to the top yet. And I'm thinking, okay, 50 minutes, 50, to complete the form. And after that, I asked him, I said, well, so how do you feel? And he says, yeah, no, Master Yang told me to go slower. So, I'm going really slow right now. And I said, okay, I think you may need to have another conversation with him because I don't think he meant that slow. So we could take it to that degree, right? But we don't. So for those of you that practice the form, let's say 20 minutes, 18 to 22 minutes is a good time frame to be in. All right. Mm-hmm. If you go a little bit slower, sometimes in class with Master Yang, we would go 30 minutes. All right. And that was fine. But the more you go slower and slower and slower, it becomes really, for me, kind of painful. All right, because it's hard to move my energy around when I'm restricting that movement. Okay, so this is what I believe the meaning to this essential is. See, quiescence within movement. It means to have a calm mind, to have a clear spirit, and to be able to see the bigger picture. Calm mind, clear spirit, see the bigger picture. All right. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines quiescence as tranquility at rest, to be quiet. So, what do we want to do? We want to keep our mind calm and centered. We want to keep our chi down by breathing, making sure that it's comfortable and it's natural. We want to see the bigger picture. Balance, stability, keeping the mind calm and quiet, keeping the breathing comfortable. Stay in the moment. Don't drift away. Tai Chi wants us to stay present because this is the only thing we have control on, is right now. What happens a minute from now, we don't know. But what happens right now, we can have an effect on. So, what does this ultimately mean in a way in which we can maybe understand a little bit better? I want to talk to you now about our monkey brain. Have any of you heard that term, monkey brain? Monkey brain. All right. So what is the monkey brain? The monkey brain is that voice in you that won't shut up sometimes. See, look how you did that. That's not how your mother did it. Oh, that's what Nancy told you not to do that. And why are you still doing that in your practice? Oh, remember when you went to Dee Dee's basic class and she said this? Why aren't you doing that? It's that voice in you, in your brain, that no matter what wants to talk to you all the time. And sometimes it's saying good things, and other times it's saying how bad things are. All right, look, you didn't do rollback that great. You have to remember to go back and do that again. La 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 la. Okay, we need to shut that thing up. Okay, quiet him or her down. We need to quiet the monkey brain down. Now, so how can we achieve this calmness, this quietness in our mind? There are two ways. You ready? First, you must familiarize yourself with the form. This comes from your experience, and experience to Chinese equals gong fu. So when you hear the word gong fu, not kung fu, okay, you say gong fu, all right? Gong fu means experience. So for instance, Sam, what kind of hobbies do you have? Oh, Sam walked away. Okay. Yeah.
Just unmuting the mic.
Okay.
I'm not leaving.
I didn't mean to scare you, Sam. Okay, Sam, what kind of work do you do?
Work for Amazon.
How long have you done that?
About 3 years.
Okay. What kind of hobbies do you like? What's like your favorite hobby?
Gardening.
How long have you been doing that?
Since I was a kid.
Okay, so we can say that you have 3 years of Amazon Kung Fu and pretty much your whole life gardening Kung Fu. All right, the more we do something, the more we have Kung Fu. All right, that's experience. So for those of us that have had jobs, for as long as you were in your job, you have that much Kung Fu experience in that job. All right, those of you that have come to Tai Chi, you have that much Tai Chi experience. And know that every day that you practice, put a star on that calendar because you've earned that day of Kung Fu. All right? So familiarizing yourself with the form, that means memorizing the sequence, knowing the names of the movement, and being able to do it without pretty much stopping and say, okay, what comes next? What comes next? Okay, so the familiarity with the movements in the form, the sequence, is really important. 2, seeing the bigger picture. That has to do with balance, calmness, and comfortable breathing. So we know when we keep the chi down that the stomach is breathing naturally, so we want to have that. So these things will help keep that monkey brain down to a minimum. So if you notice, when you first started learning Tai Chi, there was a lot of talking going on in your mind. Even after you left your first couple of classes, oh my God, I have to go home and I've got to practice. Am I going to be able? Are you going to remember these things? Kind of thing. It's just constant talking, right? Anybody not experienced this? Raise your hand. Okay, so we know this is true for everybody, right? So we have to get ourselves to the point where we are comfortable and we know what it is that we need to do when we're practicing. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you're not going to make mistakes. One of the big mistakes that I make, this is a confession on my part, that I have to work on is when I'm outside doing the form by myself, when I do snake spits out its tongue, I will miss the next cloud hands. I'm notorious for missing that one set of cloud hands. All right. So I had to really, really work on enforcing to my mind and to my body what comes next. So when I get into single whip after white snake spits out its tongue, I know that I got to do cloud hands. I can't do snake creeps down. Yeah, I have to wait for that. Or even thrust out palm, right? So we may have these moments in the form where we have this kind of hiccup. And that's okay. Just know the next time that you have to be mindful about okay, all right, I forgot that one. So next time I practice, I know how I have to bring that back, okay? So, does anybody have any questions right now?
I have I don't know if it's, okay, so my question, or what I've noticed practicing when we're talking about the other theories, is that what is it, 7 and 7, use intent rather than force, and then trying to do 9, practice continuously. I'm trying to practice continuously, and I'm trying to like round corners and stuff like that, but I'm not sure that I'm using intent anymore because I'm thinking so much about being continuous. I feel kind of like it's just, I'm so concerned about looking like there's any stopping of any sort that I just almost I'm going a little too continuously. But so I'm wondering if I don't know, I'm wondering if I'm trying to practice 2 different things at the same time. Maybe I should just focus on one and not worry about, say, intent rather than force when I'm trying to concentrate on continuously. I don't know.
Well, when we talk about intend not to use force, that essential speaks more about focusing on relaxation. So you can ask yourself, am I feeling relaxed? Because we don't want to have or use brute force, we don't want to go limp in
Right.
that specific essential, right? So
Right.
we want to have springy energy. So when you're in your practicing your form, when you're in your movements, are you stiff? Are you tightening up? Are you going too limp? Or do you have that relaxation, that body shape that we need? All right. So focus on that body shape and try not to go too hard. So that essential has to do with unifying soft with hard. So we want to be in the middle, so that we can go one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm doing a lot better with that particular concept. Not maybe with every single thing, but you know, I notice it now when I'm not. But I'm
Okay.
wondering if sometimes I'm a little limp. So
Well, and that's okay. The first thing is when trying to adopt these essentials into your form is to then notice when they're not there. Are there moments when you are not keeping your head lifted? Then then, at that particular point, I know I've got to keep my head up. All right. But first you have to notice where these, where you're relaxing in our English language, when you're relaxing into these essentials. You may start off okay, and then by the time you get to roll back, your head dips,
yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah, that's me.
Then your monkey brain comes back. Yeah.
Yeah, and it starts saying,
no.
well, what'd you do that for? You're not doing the first essential. That's what Nancy didn't say to do that, kind of thing, right? So your monkey brain is telling you all the mistakes you're making and wants to know why are you doing this now? That's not how you did it before. Why are you doing this now? So then you have to tell your monkey brain, because that's the way we're doing it now. All right, so just quiet.
No.
Okay, go do your tai chi. go to your room. Go do your tai chi by yourself, monkey. Okay. So so yes, there's going to be this journey, just like your journey when you were trying to learn how to do the form, the movements in the form. Now you guys know the movements in the form. How many of you here have now memorized the sequence in the form and can do it without, you know what comes next? Okay. All right. Well, so that's part of the challenge of this essential. It's like remember what it was like to first learn how to drive the car, and now when you want to drive the car, we don't even think about it anymore. We just get in the car and we go. Or remember when we were first learning how to write letters? Remember when we were learning cursive? All right? And how tight we held onto that pencil? Good thing that pencil was nice and hard, right? Because it's like, if it were soft, it would have been all broken and whatever, right? But now when we write, we just know what to write, right? When we want to leave a note for somebody, we just write it. So that's the familiarity. You need to have the familiarity, and that familiarity, these are big words for me to say. It takes a lot, okay? Familiarity comes from doing. Over and over and over again doing. Yes, Caroline?
I said repetition, repetition, repetition. That's basic learning.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were to ask you this question, I want you all to say or write down your answer to this question, okay? Are you ready? Well, actually, I'm going to ask two questions. Okay, ready? What color is the sky? Write it down.
Well,
Okay? Now, here's the second question. I want you to take the first thing that comes to your mind. Ready? What's the moon made out of?
Cheese.
Green cheese.
Okay? All right. So ask yourself, how many times were we told that the sky is blue?
Cuckoo.
Right? So we just accepted it, right? That's the sky. The sky is blue. That's what the sky color is. It's a blue color, right?
Even when it's not blue, we say the sky is, yeah.
Right? Okay. Because that's something that we've been told a lot, and that our mind says, okay, the sky's blue. So whenever you're asked that, then that's how we answer. Now, the second question, the first thing that comes to your mind is what we were told as kids. What's the moon made out of? It's made out of cheese. Because you see, it's like Swiss cheese, right? Because we see all those little patterns in the moon, right? Or the moon is smiling at us because, sometimes it looks like it's smiling, right? But we know that's not what the moon's made out of. But we still think that way. Because that's what we were told as we were young. We know that that's not true, but we still think it. It's the first thing that comes to your mind. So the same thing with Tai Chi. So those of us that practice multiple forms, before you start your form, do you say to yourself, okay, now I'm going to do the essential form. Now I'm going to do the senior form. Now I'm going to do the 24 movement form. Now I'm going to do this or that. Now we're going to do push hands. Now I'm going to do saber. I'm going to do the sword. Because our mind then needs to go, okay, we're going to do the sword form. So now I got to reach for my sword, and then we start doing the sword form. So it prepares our mind. So when we want to seek quiescence, it's a familiarity that our mind has with what it is that we're going to be doing. So the familiarity part is very, very key to this essential. Seeing the bigger picture. All right? That's why we look to the horizon, because we want to see what's going on. But this visual of seeing does not necessarily mean seeing the bigger picture as far as this quiescence is concerned. Because to see the overall picture of balance. So like when Cheryl is sent to her room, or there are times when, I would have to use my Tai Chi. Why? It's to gather ourselves, to get back to balance, to get back to centeredness, to find that calmness, to find that comfortable, natural breathing that will help us get back to center and get back into a state of more balance than we were when we were having people tell us to go away. Okay, or go to your room.
But
So,
Nancy,
yes?
but familiarity, I have the same problem, doesn't necessarily mean forgetfulness. To me, it means remembering more or unfolding more to a deeper maybe level. Like, because when we're driving, we can't just forget and go mindlessly. We still have to be present.
Okay, I'm going to challenge that last statement of yours.
Anyway,
This is how I'm going to challenge it. Yes, but what you said initially, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. How many of you been driving while you're on your telephone talking to somebody? And then all of a sudden you notice, oh, I'm already here. It's because somewhere between when you started your conversation and when you ended and when you've reached your final destination, time elapsed, and but you weren't really thinking about where you just knew where you were going, so you didn't really have to think about it.
Subconscious.
Right? It's like going home.
I know that, and I frequently end up in that position, but then I think not so good if I'm being, if I'm not being present and, looking at my surroundings and being aware of something.
Absolutely.
Thing.
It's being present.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Right.
Be present. When you are present, that's all you can control is right now. Okay? So when we are driving, talking on the phone, and then we've missed that whole middle part, then we were not present at that time. Okay, our mind was not present at that time. So the same thing can happen with Tai Chi. You know, we could just be going through the motions, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I'm at the end. Or do you sometimes say to yourself, oh my God, thank goodness I'm in the third section. I'm almost getting to the end now. Egads, holy schmoly. Or, oh no, here's the second section. Okay, the kicks are coming. The kicks are, oh, here are the kicks. Okay, what are you going to do about those kicks now? Okay, that's that monkey. Okay, some of you are smiling because I know I said that to myself many times when, here's the second section. Oh, the kicks. Okay, I know when I do, you know, here it comes. I'm going to be doing a kick now. See? So, or, oh, here's the third section. Okay, well, you know, after you do Wild Horse Parts its main, here come the shuttles. The shuttles are coming. Oh, and then we know after the shuttles, snake creeps down. Okay, so, you know, we may have these movements in the form that we go, oh, here it comes. That's the monkey brain.
Hey, Nancy,
Yes?
this is Shelley, and I've actually been in my car listening. I'm now stopped for a moment, and I just got to tell you, this essential is the one that has allowed me to really have that meditation in motion feeling, you know, where you're just you're in the moment, you're only thinking about the form. I remember I used to tell myself to breathe throughout the whole thing. And if you recall back in, you know, early 2000 when I first got or 2020 when I first got my diagnosis, it was the saving grace for me. It was like between night and day of calming me down. And so I love this essential. I just want to say this to me is the most important, one of the most important ones.
Yes, yes. And that's why I think why they saved it for last. Because this takes everything that we've been working on. And now it says, go practice. Go practice. Be mindful of what it is that you're doing while you're applying these essentials. Okay? Keep your mind calm. When that monkey starts, you know, talking to you, calm it down. Calm it down. All right? So this essential is huge because those of you that go for ranking, those of you that have done public performances, demonstrations, this is the essential that kicks in. All right? That doesn't mean that while you're doing it, that you're not having this shaking going on. All right? Eventually that goes away when you really start quieting that mind. And you must trust yourself. Trust that Tai Chi is in you. It's in you, and it will show out. And how are you showing that out? How are you showing your love for what it is that you're learning, for what it is that you're doing? Okay? It's by how our body expresses it. Okay? It's how our facial expressions are not expressing it, right? That people can see our spirit through our eyes, through our showing our intention in the movements in the form, by keeping our head up, by, you know, keeping this body shape, by having this relaxed body shape, right? Extension. To, you know, have this slightly concaved in chest, making sure that body shape is there, by using the waist to, you know, tell us, okay, now you need to turn here. Now we're going to make a U-turn here. Now it's time to go straight. You know, separating empty and full, knowing how we're doing our weight distribution. All right. Are you being clear on how you're stepping? Because we know it's not only just on weight distribution, it's also on an energy distribution. All right. And matching inside and outside is what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're showing. Is that what your mind is it clear on what the intention is? Okay. So and then there's, are you showing your circles, right? So there's a lot for us to think about. And it's okay to think about these things. It's the moment that as you're practicing, that your mind will then start saying to you stuff like, "Oh, you forgot to add milk to your list. Okay. Oh, I forgot to go and turn off the radio or whatever. Oh, whatever." When those thoughts come, non-Tai Chi thoughts come into your mind, you got to try to do your best to shut it off and stay present, because that list is going to wait until you finish your practice anyway, right? So be clear about that. So, anybody have any questions or
Yes.
go ahead, Tamara.
When I was first learning and I was in Asia, one of the things they talked about is, as you, like in the prepare, about having your tongue relax, so it was like at the roof of your mouth. Is that incorporated anywhere in the essentials?
Well, I wouldn't say it's incorporated in the essentials. What I would say is that that's the natural place that our tongue goes to when it's resting.
Okay.
I'll share two things with you. One, somebody in class asked Master Yang one time, when we're practicing, should our mouth be open or closed? His answer was yes. Okay. Because it should be closed, but closed also includes open, right? So it should be a little bit open. It should be naturally closed. And as you're sitting there listening to me talk, I want you to notice, where's your tongue? It'll rest comfortably at the top of our mouth and against the inside of our front teeth. Now, why is it its natural resting place? Well, some people will say it's because Qi circulates forward and back, this direction, okay? And so to keep the circulation, the Qi circulating properly within our body, this is a closed door. When the tongue is at the roof of the mouth, it's a closed door, because Qi doesn't like to have this. So it needs to have a closed door, so it helps keep that energy circulating properly, okay? So Tamara, nothing's spelled out about that, but in class, Master Yang has said that it will just go to its natural resting place. Okay, anyone else? All right, so let's get up and let's practice. Let's do the first section, and let's see if we can seek quiescence within movement. All right, and I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit as we go and see how we're doing, okay? All right, so we start at prepare. All right, prepare. Keep your feet, shoulders width apart, feet point straight, hands touching the outer part of your thighs, looking straight forward. Lift your head. All right, ready? Opening. Grasping the bird's tail, ward off, left. Ward off, right. How's your breathing? Roll back. Press. Push. Is your mind calm? Single whip. Keep your mind focused on what it is that you're doing. This is all we have control over right now, is what we're doing in the form. Raise hands and step forward. Is your body relaxed? White crane spreads its wings. Left knee brush. Breathe. Hand strums the lute. Left knee brush. Right knee brush. Keep your mind calm. Left knee brush. Hand strums the lute. Left knee brush. Step up. Parry. Block. And punch. Apparent closing up. Keep breathing. Cross hands. Closing. Finish. Boy, it went real quiet for a while there. How you guys feeling?
Good.
So, did you notice anything about your mind? Was the monkey there?
Yes.
A little bit.
Uh-huh.
Worse than usual.
All right. So, what were some things that your monkey was saying to you?
Refocus. Don't look out the window at the goat looking at me.
Yeah. Those people walking down the street.
Okay.
Oh,
Roll back. I didn't initiate my waist.
Okay. All right. So, these are some things that we know that will happen during our practices, and we can notice it, but stay present. Okay? When you notice these things, what if you were standing up to do a kick? How would it affect your balance? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah? Let's try that. All right? So, like, what's some things, let's think, oh, okay, here's a good one. All right, let's go into, parry, block, and punch here. Okay? So now we're going to do step up and right heel kick. All right, step up, right heel kick. All right, what are you going to do for St. Patrick's Day? Is anybody going to cook corned beef? What are you going to have with your corned beef? Right? How is that for you guys?
Well, you let go of the spot.
Naughty.
Huh?
That was really naughty of you to do that.
See, that's the effect of the monkey brain. When you start having to think something outside of Tai Chi, then your body goes, oh, okay, and then your balance goes, yeah, whatever, okay? All right, this time let's do it again. And let's see how we do. So here we are, parry, block, and punch. All right. Step up, right heel kick. Keep your mind calm, breathe. How's your balance?
Perfect. That's better.
Better?
a lot better.
Okay. That's the power of this 10th essential. When we're able to calm our mind, to quiet our mind, balance will be better. The moment we start straying away from Tai Chi in the moment, it's going to mess you up.
You know, I have this big block around diagonal flying because it's been tough for me to get my quad open enough. And as soon as it's almost like I almost want to stop. Oh, here it comes, just like you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I start tensing up, and I try to like force my body into all these positions, and then I think, wait, relax. And it just throws everything off. And then it's just like, oh, well, I'll just finish it. You know, it's almost like a challenge. It's hard to get past that. So.
Yes. So say to yourself, okay, quiet, 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 quiet. You know, get yourself in a good mental balanced state, and then say, okay, let's do diagonal flying. So when we come from a place where we are more centered, then our balance is more centered. When we come from a place where our mind is calm, then we can express calmness. People will see and feel this calmness. All right, that's one of the beautiful things about Tai Chi is when people see it, then they feel, oh, that's so pretty. They go, oh, this feels so nice, right? It looks so pretty because it is. And if they only knew how it felt, how wonderful it felt to do it versus looking at it, it's different, right? So, anybody else have any questions or any feedback you'd like to share? No? Okay.
I do have a question.
Okay.
So I know that when we do Tai Chi, Master Yang tells us, I mean, via you and other people, tells us to not express feeling, to just rise above it, essentially, you know, and be objective, like watch it happen, you know, and be present. But I also experience, and I can do that, but I also experience joy in how my body feels when it moves. And I was wondering, do you try, I mean, like you had said, he tells you don't feel anything, don't feel joy or not. But then I also have heard other people say, you know, enjoy it as well. And I feel a little bit like, are there two methods here that we're talking about, or, I mean, modes of feeling or not feeling, or are we also got to find the joy in just being in that moment, and it's not about feeling good or anything, and yet it does feel good.
Okay, so it's not a matter of Master Yang telling me not to feel joy or happiness or whatever. We are going to have these feelings inside our body.
Right.
We cannot show it. So we want to come from a place that's in the middle, so that we can go one way or the other. But if we're over here, then we have to go back to center to go to the other side. So it's not a matter of not feeling these things, because I'll tell you, when I still do Wild Horse Parts its mane, that's one of my favorite movements. Okay, or Fair Lady Works Shuttles is one of my favorite movements. There's a certain feeling I have inside my body about those specific movements. I can feel these things inside my body. All right, so it reminds me of a movie. Have any of you seen The Birdcage with Robin Williams?
Ah, La Cage aux Folles, yes.
Yes, okay. I love that movie. My daughter and I, whenever we get together after we haven't seen each other for a while, we'll sit down, we'll watch that movie, and we just laugh, okay? So why am I bringing up this movie? There's a part in that movie where Nathan Lane is practicing for what he's going to be doing. And then he has another person that needs to practice their part in the same thing that he's going to be doing. And what he says to Robin Williams is, look at him, he's just flailing all over the place, and he shouldn't be doing that. So Robin Williams goes up to him and he says, okay, all this is going on around you. All this is happening all around you. And you're feeling all these things. It's all just happening to you, okay? But nobody knows except you. It's all in here, and you can feel it. But only you can feel this. Only you can know what's going on in here. Nobody else can tell. And when I heard that after I started learning Tai Chi, and when Master Yang told me that, I immediately went to that movie, and it was like, oh, okay, now I get it. It's kind of like when you need to give bad news to somebody and say you've been crying and you want to convey this without showing too much emotion. It's kind of like that, where you kind of have to contain it. It doesn't mean that you're not feeling it, but you cannot express it.
And that's because it's a martial art, and we are theoretically doing this to be ready for any and all circumstances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whether
So, you know,
bodies or not, yeah.
right. So practice, and after your practice, you can say to yourself, oh my God, that felt so good. That just felt really well.
I have an example.
Okay.
When we would do push hands, Master Yang would go around and practice with us, making circles. And sometimes he would, it feels like he's testing us. And he would go around, this is why I was pretty good at this point, I think. And he was going really fast, and he went faster and faster. And I was just following him, but then I noticed, and I thought to myself, I was following him fine. I noticed, wow, this is really fast, and then I couldn't do it. then I let go. I couldn't keep it up. But without thinking it, and just like try to not think about anything, it was doable. But I couldn't do that and think about it.
Yeah.
That's the 10th essential.
Okay.
That's the 10th essential. Yeah. So, you know, it's just like what we just did right now with practicing the kick, and you know, am I talking about St. Patrick's Day versus not, right? So, anybody else have anything to share?
No.
All right. So your job this week is to practice this 10th essential. Now, how do you practice the 10th essential? Notice when this monkey brain, notice when that voice starts coming up. Uh-oh, here comes the kicks. It's okay. It's all right. Remember, the more familiar you are with what it is that we're doing, the more Gong Fu experience that you're collecting. That's a good thing. When you're able to see the bigger picture, that has to do with your balance, your you know, how calm you are, and how it affects your breathing. These are important things. All right? So stay in the moment. Stay present. That's the only thing you can affect is right now. So keep your mind calm, keep your mind centered, have your breathing natural, comfortable, stay in the moment, don't drift away. All right? Keep present. All right? So thank you for joining me on this journey of the 10 essentials. Can you believe it? We have finished this. All right? But our work is not done. We finished outlining what it is, you know, so that you understand what these essentials are. And now the work begins. All right? So go forth and start applying these essentials. And remember, go easy on yourself. Don't say, okay, we're going to do the 10 essentials now. Here we go. All right? That's overflowing or, you know, or flooding yourself. Take one. When you get that down good, when you get that Gong Fu experience, then say, okay, now I'm going to do another one. And then you'll get that Gong Fu experience. Then when you've gone through all of them, now take two. Pick two. To the point then where you get to incorporate all 10. And when you can get all 10 going, that's a good day.
I'll be 80.
Wow.
That's a really good day. Every day you can apply your essential in what it is that you're doing, that's a good day. All right? Anybody have anything they'd like to say before
Thank
we
you,
close?
Nancy.
Oh, well, I didn't Thank you, Carol Ann. Yeah. All right. You're very welcome, Miss Veronica. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, go forth and apply your 10 essentials. Let me know. Keep in touch with me. Let me know how it's going for you. And bring your questions to class. We have the refinement class. That's a great class to start, asking these questions, all right? In some of your section classes, it may be a little bit more challenging depending upon, what the teacher, what their agenda is. But the refinement class is a great place to bring your essential questions, okay? All right, go forth. And Tai Chi, go take on the day now.
This
All
class.
right.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay, thanks everybody.
It's been really
Good
helpful.
class.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go eat cake. Go eat cake now. Celebrate.